Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Rugged Edge Survival Guide, a Premio podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B. Folks, it's good to be back in the seat and behind the mic with the Premio team as we discuss the major trends, technologies, and important timely news that are shaping the larger world of rugged edge computing. And today's a special episode. We're actually going to be previewing a new piece of content, a Premio ebook that is sure to provide some useful, tangible insights and analysis for our audience. Before we get into it, though, make sure you're heading to our website, premioinc.com, Premio Inc. Again, premioinc.com, for not only previous conversations of ours, other episodes of the Rugged Edge Survival Guide, but obviously more information about our solutions and services and other great resources like this ebook, which we'll be releasing soon. Okay, so let's get into it, folks, right into the meat of it. Today's episode, again, is a special one because we're going to be teasing out the release of what I'd consider one of Premio's most timely and important content drops yet, and that's our ebook, Snapshots into the Edge. Again, it's called Snapshots into the Edge. And this is Premio's new upcoming ebook that's going to be synthesizing the mass of analytical and technical material out there, including info on the latest technologies, respected industry research, and thought leadership from the company's own tenure in industrial computing to, again, synthesize this concise view of the edge and edge computing today, so that we can help guide the larger industry and more specifically embedded designers on how to make the best decisions and strategies for developing and deploying their edge computing solutions and solving their edge computing needs. So again, very concise, very tangible and actionable ebook drop here coming up very soon. And to tell us a little bit more about this drop and the context around why Premio even decided to put some weight behind something like this is our go-to guest, Mr. Dustin C2. He's Director of Product Marketing over at Premio. Dustin, great to have you back on, man. How you doing?
Doing great. It's always good to speak finally with the voice of B2B. You're always doing amazing things in the world of enterprise computing and a lot of organizations and bringing things forth. So good to chat with you again.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And I always love talking shop with the Premio team. So it's good to be back. And, just for a little context for our audience, it's been a little bit, I think, since we've had a conversation. I think last we were chatting, we were preparing for and actually on site at ISC West 2023, almost an entire year ago. And there was a lot of exciting stuff going on in the Premio world, in the edge computing world, but obviously a year of difference. This is an industry that moves pretty quickly. So I want to just do a quick little check-in. What's been going on in the Premio world in the last year, the last month, right? What has the team been working on? What conversations are leading in your industry verticals with your clients? Give us that pulse check. What's going on in the Premio world?
Wow, time really flies when you're having fun. Has it really been a whole year since we've last chatted? Anyways, just to kind of provide some updates. So first off, hello to all my fellow computing friends, subscribers to our Rugged Edge Survival podcast. It's so exciting to kind of see you guys again and speak with you again. But kind of the main reasons why we're excited to kind of have this podcast is really to share with our audiences and clients a good way to kind of dive into these new overarching themes that are related to our business. But just to kind of share some of these updates, right? It's been a year, but I would say in the last 6 months, it's been quite the experience working with our product teams, our engineering teams, which now I can say we've been in super stealth mode, really focusing on new product designs and models that me personally and the products teams are excited to hit the second half of this year. So be on the lookout. Also, 2024 is a huge, big year for Premio. We're coming up on our 35th anniversary. So a big thank you to all the founders of the company, R&D, product teams. We really have a strong product roadmap that's going into 2024. But most importantly, why we've been in super stealth mode is we've put together 5 new product series coming to market that's going to do what we do best and showcase kind of what we hone in on in terms of our computing technology and design. So that's a lot of this new age computing architecture, optimizing I/O and performance, and really providing a rugged, reliable computer. But now we're at the overall, we're at the end of Q1. Me personally, I believe Premio, we're off to a great start with a few trade shows under our belt. And most importantly, we have a new ebook that's coming out at the end of this month. So be on the lookout.
And that's exactly why we're sitting down to chat today. So that's great to hear, man. So much exciting stuff going on in the Premio world. But most importantly, a lot of exciting stuff going on in the world of edge computing, which Premio is responding to proactively and helping, again, with stuff like this ebook, provide some, I guess, flashlights through the darkness a little bit. Since it's an industry that moves so quickly, sometimes things can get a little confusing about how to best operate in terms of the available solutions and even how to apply edge computing in the myriad of new layers of operations that are arising in almost every industry. So let's get into it then. First, let's hit the basics here on this ebook. When is it coming out? How can our audience access it when it releases, right? Let's make sure everyone knows how to get their hands on it. So where can they find it? When's it dropping?
So drum roll, right? We've scheduled the ebook to hit available for download on April 1st, 2024. As you may know, that might be April 1st, but for the past 35 years, our brand slogan at Premio is your success, our commitment. So when we do something, we really say we do that. And although it's April 1st, April Fools, we will be releasing our new ebook to hit the market. And you can find that on our website under our ebook and white paper section, where it's going to be free to download and with a wealth of other information to drive some of the key points mentioned in the ebook. So I'm excited to share this ebook to our clients, but also new audiences in the edge computing world.
April Fools, right? It's always tough to even drop something on April Fools, but hey, you're right. Premio never backs down from a challenge, and we've got a great drop coming here to kick off the month. Okay, Justin, let's give a little context for our audience here. Why was putting together, this compendium, this research to action plan of a book, such a critical investment and, content focus for the Premio team, right? What were some of the motivating factors that shaped Premio's work and the work of your clients that kind of put creating this resource on the radar as a priority for you and for them? What's motivating this?
Yeah, you'd be surprised, right? In the last 35 years, we've spent a lot of time with our customers, building solutions, hearing their pain points, really dissecting the market in a way to really carve out a Premio position and kind of what we do in our core capability. But I think from a R&D standpoint, engineering standpoint, product standpoint, and me personally, as someone who is not so technical, my goal is to take a lot of this technical information and break it down into technical themes that are easy to understand. Lots of times we're in the trenches, we're hearing a lot of information that are technical, we're digging into a lot of key market trends, reading a lot of market research. And the light bulb kind of went into my head and said, hey, I think if we kind of package all this together into a concise key theme that focuses on the trends, the analysis, predictions, this would be extremely important for not only the audience, the industry, but most importantly, our clients. So, I think any entrepreneur or business owner would agree it's probably paramount to really keep your eyes and ears on the competitive landscape. And, coming on our 35th anniversary, nothing has changed. We continue to kind of steer forward with our focus, our main goal. But I would say the three motivating factors on why our teams put together this ebook are: number one, being the knowledge consolidation; number two, strategic planning and the vision; and three, most importantly, empowering our clients. So to kind of focus in on that number one point, which is knowledge consolidation, quite simply, if you've been in the business 35 years, you are an expert and you have knowledge that people are willing to listen to as a thought leader. Lots of times in terms of, product marketing, it's people get tired of hearing about, speeds and fees and my product. You eventually get to a point where it's like you are a knowledge of resource. And I truly believe people appreciate the investment that we put into our product design, our knowledge, and our research. And, coming in our 35th anniversary, we're really excited to showcase that in our complete product portfolio. Second, I would say, when we talk about the strategic planning and vision, I think as a business, it's very important to have planning, obviously, but to have a vision to really kind of paint the roadmap for a lot of these key products that are hitting to market. So our job, right, as an OEM manufacturer of rugged edge computers is to really map out key trends, challenges, and opportunities and how it relates to the overall business. And we've done that in the last 35 years, right, is really sitting down with the customer, understanding their pain points, putting together off-the-shelf product that they can quickly use and deploy and help them be extremely successful. And then last, it ties into really empowering how we serve our clients and their needs. And again, we do this by putting together a strong roadmap. And this strong roadmap is a wealth of information in terms of, different computing architectures. So the main goal here, right, is to really analyze what's the transformative technologies that are available that are leading. Our job is to really compile that, make sure it's the best fit for the markets that we go after, and really provide a 24/7 rugged, reliable computer solution that we can serve. So I think in this ebook, in summary, what it's going to do is, capture all these points, really position our products in a way that showcase what we do best. And really, it's an enjoyable, quick ebook to read.
Quick, concise, actionable, but informed by 35 plus years of experience and synthesizing the major changes shaping the industry today. I mean, I think that's all you could ask for as a key, node, I suppose, for all major players in the edge computing space to strategize around and use as a tool to maneuver some of the major changes. And I guess speaking of, what are some of those changes shaping the market today, right, that Premio is having to respond to and is kind of helping give some clarity on? Again, if you had to break down some of the major market trends shaping the development of edge computing today, what would they be? What are the key important ones that are making this landscape a fast evolving one?
Yeah, so putting together a lot of the market research, the product marketing team and the product management team, we really spent time diving into a lot of these key market research analysts, and we really crafted kind of the main points we believe are going to be most important for our business, but that's valuable, I think, for the audience. A lot of these trends really dive into where the industry is and what the industry needs to get to. But the most important thing that I would like to kind of address first in trends that's kind of unanimously across, all the different research is, and I've said this before in many of my podcasts, is there is this disaggregation of what we call monolithic architectures. And that sounds like very complicated, so I'll break that down. What's happening is a decentralization of allocation of new compute resources away from the cloud, closer to where data is generated. And how that ties into major markets is really where, AI is coming together. So our job is to really stitch together compute, storage, networking, ruggedization in remote environments where you are dealing with data and analytics, really to drive the new level of machine learning and intelligence. So what we're doing from our core capability standpoint is shifting to meet the demands of a need for heterogeneous computing. You're going to have new compute architectures that are more domain specific, that are purpose built to design to do specific, very fast, efficient, real-time processing to meet the demands at the edge. Another major trend that we see in a lot of the market research, and I've also said this before, is this OT to IT convergence. The key here is to really understand what the different technologies are doing, but why there's this convergence becomes important. Operational technology as a whole is really the eyes and ears of the environment. These OT technologies are sensors that are able to take in the data and really push that data into some type of platform that needs to compute that, right? But if you don't have the ability to compute, you lose the ability to have business insights or machine learning and analytics. So the simple breakdown is when you do have this OT to IT convergence, you need these sensors to communicate and pass the data to a compute platform. And that compute platform is going to be able to be the brains and perceive what is the intelligence that's coming in to the box. A third major trend that we see is with all this OT to IT convergence and all this new data coming out from literally every type of device, the simple thought and the simple requirement is you need to have standards of security and cybersecurity as a whole, right? So how we do that from a hardware perspective, we make sure to enable the best cybersecurity technologies, whether that be from secure boot, hardware, firmware checks in the software signature that ensure the validity of data encryption, and most importantly, we include what's standard in terms of a TPM module, what basically is able to encrypt your data, store your cryptographic keys. So when there is a validity required, the data is safe. But most importantly, one trend that I start to see more discussions with a lot of our customers is this new layer of standards for cybersecurity built into not only the company and certifications for products. So this specific type of certification is tied into what we call, or what the standard is called, is IEC 62443 -3 and 4. These are basically standards that focus on a company from their design processes, how they manufacture the product, what they put on the product, all the way out and how the product is shipped. There's a cybersecurity standard across that product too. And there is another part of that standard that actually allows companies like Premio to certify specific products that they're bringing to market that are cybersecurity certified, which is extremely important when you're moving out to the edge. And I would say the last major trend really ties into the network connectivity. Many people have talked about this, on a lot of different things in the past 5 years, which is this 5G network rollout. Edge computing as a whole, although is moving data away from the cloud closer to where data generated is, but you still need to have a strong, robust networking platform. And 5G, with the benefits of low latency and higher bandwidth, allow machines to communicate from a pretty robust standpoint. So just to kind of comment from a device manufacturer's perspective, me personally and a lot of the projects that we're dealing with, we start to see 5G really growing on the private 5G side, right? So private 5G is different than your non-public, and different than your standard 5G networks, like from AT&T and Verizon. And what happens here is an organization will basically own the entire ecosystem of their 5G private network, everything from the equipment, everything from their cloud, everything from the bands in the 5G spectrum. They're basically able to use those 5G bands to really deploy or be more operational efficient. So a perfect example that I would like to do and kind of explain to paint that picture is, think about a massive smart factory, right? Eventually, these smart factories are going to eliminate some portion of the human labor force and use robotics, AGVs, AMRs, IoT sensors, and use edge computing to stitch all the layers together with 5G to really have low latency, higher bandwidth. And you're going to have machine to machine closed loop autonomy to be more productive and more efficient. So yeah, those are the 4 major trends that we see that will be listed in the ebook.
And I want to just put a little extra emphasis on AI specifically. Obviously as an industry, there's so much interest and investment behind leveraging AI capabilities to supplement, already existing processes, obviously to kind of push AI as the solution in and of itself. In edge computing, AI is playing a really critical role in helping augment edge computing capabilities, make sense of the data being captured at the edge, and then, of course, make edge computing more efficient as well and multifaceted. I'm curious if you could give us just a little bit more insight there on how you see AI changing the landscape of edge computing today, and how that is kind of informing the analysis y'all are offering in the ebook as well.
Yeah, so AI, the hottest topic on the market. No matter if you are sitting in school all the way as an engineer, I believe you have some type of knowledge on what AI is doing. So you can kind of see the ROI and the investments businesses are putting into their AI technology, or how they fit into the ecosystem of AI. So really, to speak from the hardware side and as an edge device manufacturer, what I'll comment on is you're starting to see the value that hardware plays in the success of AI. And that ties into producing semiconductor chips. So I'm sure you're familiar with everything behind NVIDIA, right? And their GPU technology and what they're doing with AI. But the reason why they are in the spotlight, not only are they the leaders in providing some type of GPU technology that's driving a lot of the deep learning neural networks, right, in their parallel compute platforms, they're just only one of the many companies that are focused on putting AI capabilities into their semiconductors chips, right? So if it hasn't been clear in the past few years, it's 100% clear now that you need to be doing something into AI, and the future is going to be in AI. And why this is so important for Premio, right? Because we design and develop specialized hardware at the edge, right? That's managing this data, that's computing this data. Our job is to really provide a computer in remote, harsh environments with limited compute resources. There's usually power budget limitations, but most importantly, the ability to provide real-time processing that ties into the AI capabilities, right? So I would say you see this significance really in the post-pandemic part of times in life and where we are, and the major impact of how semiconductors are in our life, right? So I'm sure you're familiar with the global attention of the semiconductors and the leaders of all the semiconductors companies, right? Everything from the U.S. CHIPS Act, right? $50 billion investments into having semiconductor production on shore of the United States, right? Even from the banning of AI chips, like specialized AI chips to China, because to protect the IP with the added intelligence, and also the political atmosphere between China and Taiwan, because Taiwan being the leader of semiconductors, fabrication through TSMC, is really shaping the macroeconomic picture of the atmosphere of AI, but technology in the next 10 years. So kind of to conclude all that, right, I want to keep our discussion within scope, and from an edge OEM manufacturer, I want to kind of stay within my lane, right, not go too broad. So again,
Sure.
Our main objective here in our business goal is to really evaluate the market demands and really consolidate all these different technologies and put them into product lines that are serving the market, that allow the real-time processing, the data telemetry, the wireless connectivity that will funnel into some type of AI inference and connect AI inference and machine learning for industrial computers for very specific applications.
Well, what you're laying out is obviously a dynamic, fluid, again, rapidly evolving industry that's being shaped by a lot of different, tech-focused innovations, operational nuances, and again, sort of like market convergences, right, with this IT-OT convergence. And so with all of that, we're clearly seeing a lot of dynamics that are influencing how embedded designers and also sort of the end users of edge computing even think about edge computing and make decisions around edge computing investments. And so I'm curious, with all of this that we just broke down as context, what is making maneuvering edge computing, its solutions, its applications, a bit of a quagmire, I guess you could say today, right? Like, even though edge computing's applications are clearer than ever, even though edge computing's utility, use cases, value, all clearer than ever, what is making this still somewhat of a confusing ecosystem in practice to maneuver, make sense of, and make sort of clear, decisive decision-making around?
Definitely quagmire. I like that word. It makes it sound even more complex and confusing, and it actually is pretty complex and confusing if you look at the whole entire edge computing market. But what I like to do, let me kind of set the stage with some market research and statistics to really kind of hone in, right, on why it's so confusing and why Premio is only a portion of this ecosystem. So according to IDC, the entire global edge market is estimated at 4 billion at 2020, and it's projected to grow to about 18 billion by 2026. So that's a huge CAGR growth, about 27%. Another interesting fact, all right, 75 billion connected devices by 2025. Right. So all these IoT sensors, all these cameras, all these computers coming online. And it's an amazing amount of them, and like exponential amount of them. Right. And OT like I mentioned, OT to IT connectivity in this convergence. Another point, 75% of enterprise data is going to be generated outside of the cloud and closer to the edge. 75%, that's a huge number, right? And why is that important? Is because when you move the data away from the cloud, you're able to do real-time decision-making, real-time intelligence, and provide productive insights. It's really tied to kind of the ROI and the business side of it, right? It's a lot of the research also says about $230 billion is going to be spent by enterprises strictly on AI and machine learning processes by 2025. But I think the most important fact that I wanted to kind of address and where we are now in the market is that the market research also indicates that all these companies, they understand AI is important. They're spending all their money, but they're actually stuck in a pilot phase of implementing this type of industrial transformation, right? And why they're stuck is because the ecosystem and what edge computing is so complex. And there's so many different layers and factors of how everyone needs to work together to create a streamlined interoperability, everything from compute, network, storage, back and forth from the edge to the cloud. So why it's so complex, right? And I want to kind of, again, stay within my lane and speak as an edge device manufacturer because it is very complex. And how it's complex is end users or system integrators or OEMs are looking at diverse solutions. So everything from different technologies, different platforms, architectures. So you can kind of get a sense that it's challenging to really identify what's going to be the best for that application. And tying into the application, the second most big complex thing was that there's so many different application scenarios, right? Everything from IoT, industrial automation, smart cities, autonomous vehicles, AGV, AMRs, healthcare, retail. So all those markets are very unique in their sense. And just because you do well in one, you can't just take that requirement and apply it to another. It just wouldn't make sense. And it would be extremely complex. A third major thing is within our ecosystem, it's so diverse in terms of who the stakeholder is, right? You have hardware vendors like Premio. You have software vendors like Premio. You have system integrators. You have network operators. You have end users, right? So the goal here is there's not going to be a silver bullet that solves everybody. I think I've always believed this from the start is the ecosystem is going to work together. They're going to highlight what those trends are. And you are going to have the key players within that diverse stakeholder ecosystem that do what they do best and really pass the kind of like a marathon, right? Pass that baton next over to the next group that's going to take it and package it together and deliver a solution. And fourth, kind of tied into an edge device manufacturer is one of the biggest challenges and why it's so complex is there's resource constraints, right? So in the environment that our products go into, they're always harsh, they're always remote, right? And the computer is always limited in their resources, different than the cloud. The cloud is controlled. They have all the horsepower. They have all the redundancy built in place. But the edge is so unique. And the challenge that we do best and why our engineers are constantly focused on delivering solid, rugged products is we're focused on balancing processing performance, the best memory, storage, unique ways of managing storage, and energy for the ultimate ruggedization of the product. And I would say the last major complex thing in the ecosystem is it's a new market. Standards are evolving, like I mentioned. Protocols are evolving. So we just, everyone in the ecosystem needs to be aware of these newer standards and protocols to ensure compliance and regulation when we do go to market.
All right, now let's translate that then into the strategy behind the ebook and what that turned into in practice, right? What our audience can expect to get out of this ebook that takes all of these moving pieces into account and turns it into kind of a rugged edge survival guide, not to be too on the nose, but that's really kind of what we're putting together here. So walk us through again how this book tackles those challenges, right? To synthesize a condensed, focused, actionable toolkit for the larger industry, to maneuver and make best use of edge computing today. What's the strategy? What's it starting to look like in practice?
Well, obviously, the best way to get those answers would be to download our ebook, which is coming out as a reminder April 1st for all the specifics. But in short, what the ebook is going to do, and I think it does a very good job, and I'm very happy to bring it to market and share it with our audience, is that it taps into the following key market research trends and even predictions for edge computing. But we also are identifying key hardware players from semiconductors, AI accelerators, and then how that is tied into the shaping of specialized hardware for real-time processing. But most importantly, being that it's obviously a Premio ebook, our job is to really help provide a breakdown of our key product families and how they fit into the edge ecosystem from a performance versus power comparison, right? It's our job as a OEM device manufacturer for 35 plus years is to provide a core scalable computing solution that's leveraging the leading semiconductor architecture, and most importantly, with rugged reliability for a lot of these new edge applications.
And I know there's a specific focus around, this book providing some considerations for and strategies for embedded designers, specifically so that they can make better decision making on selecting from the wide variety of specialized hardware. Break down some of the, again, just kind of tease for us how the ebook tackles some of those main considerations for embedded designers. And, feel free to tell us a little bit more about what Premio is doing as well to help meet those hardware needs and, be a collaborative player in that ecosystem.
Man, really asking good questions to give all the answers without downloading the ebook, but
I know. Yeah, keep some things sealed. Folks got to download the ebook, right?
Don't worry. We have beautiful graphics that are like kind of like a children's book, so you would enjoy just browsing through like a magazine. No, I'm kidding.
Love it.
So in general, I would say the ebook provides a good bird's eye view of the major catalysts for industrial edge computing adoption. And again, like a clear breakdown of Premio's product family segmentation and how it fits in the larger scale of industrial computing. But to answer your questions more directly of how Premio meets the demands, I want to address it in a few ways. So number one, being specialized hardware. So for over 35 plus years, we put a huge emphasis on 24/7 rugged reliability, wide operating temperature, shock and vibration, even dust and water. So it's critical that when we design products and push them into these mission critical applications, that we are guaranteeing ultimate reliability. And how we showcase that reliability is really through our world-class certifications for safety. So all our products are UL certified, FCC, CE, and they carry that badge. So we're really confident in that. Second major thing is when we design our products, right, and specialized hardware, we need to be able to tie into that trend of OT to IT convergence. Right. And we got to be able to integrate that our computers can leverage OT technology. So everything from your ability for powerful processing, high-speed I/O interfaces, what this does is that creates a highway or a pathway for advanced analytics and AI for the data to come in and out of the box and process the IT to OT convergence. Third would be the security and compliance. Everything that I've been talking about from data ties into being manipulated in some way. So it's very important to have cybersecurity features built into the hardware, from secure boot, data encryption, and also intrusion detection and prevention systems. And then I would say fourth is how we look at the design, right? And how we look in terms of how it can scale for the customer in terms of flexibility. Not only are we rushing to get the product into the market, we really take the time to see how it can benefit our customers. And what we do is we provide like modular ways to scale performance through our own unique technology that we've deemed called our Edge Boost nodes or our Edge Boost IO technology. And then the last major thing I would say is a company not only needs to be able to design a product well, right, and have a functional product, but I would say one of the most important things is to actually serve the product in a positive lifecycle management support. So once the product ships and once it's out in the real world, you got to be able to support it. And in our industry, what's unique about it, it's not 1 year, 2 years. Some of these products are being used for 5, 7 plus years, right? So it's very important for us to have a reliable computer, a really strong, robust lifecycle management process that allows the customer to extend the product into, lifecycle warranties, extended warranties, but most importantly, provide, timely technical support for minimizing downtime in our unique edge applications.
All right, Dustin, I feel like we've hit on the core points here that are informing and, again, starting to tease out some of the insights from this ebook. So let's go ahead and keep it nice and brief, wrap things up, and end with another reminder of where folks can get their hands on this ebook. Again, I know we're dropping April 1st, April Fools, but we're no fooling around here. We are dropping this ebook on the 1st. And again, where can folks find the link, get their hands on it, and start to leaf through the pages to, gather those insights themselves?
Yeah, so as a refresher, most important place to find that ebook is going to be on our website. You can find that snapshots into the edge in our resource section under ebook and white papers. Again, the date will be April 1st when we will officially release it. But if you are currently a Premio subscriber to our newsletter, Please, stay close to the Premio news. Also follow us on our social channels. We are going to be, announcing pushes and promotions for our ebooks that we're excited. So hopefully this podcast provides some more insights into why you should download the ebook. But most importantly, please go download an ebook and then use that to help, plan some of your decisions in terms of hardware computing, and hopefully get a better understanding of who Premio is and what we've been doing the last 35 plus years. So thank you very much.
Yeah, man, I know I'm excited to get my hands on it. And, even outside of the Premio context here, I myself am going to be digging in and, trying to make sense of this rapidly evolving slice of the market. But again, thank you, Dustin, for your time today, giving our audience a pulse check on this upcoming ebook, what they can expect, and how it's being informed by major market trends today. And again, folks, make sure that you're going to premioinc.com, premioinc.com to get your hands on the ebook. But subscribe to and keep an eye out for a link in Premio's newsletter, social channels as well. Obviously, we're going to be giving this a big push, so it's sure to land on your radar if you know where to look. So thank you again. And Dustin, appreciate your time, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, the voice of B2B, Daniel.
Always a pleasure. So again, thank you to Dustin C2, Director of Product Marketing at Premio, and thank you to everyone for listening to today's episode of the Rugged Edge Survival Guide. Make sure that you are subscribing to our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Just hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss an update on a future episode, and you can tap into some of our previous dialogues and discussions on major trends shaping the larger edge computing industry. I'm your host, Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B. Keep an eye out for our ebook, Snapshots into the Edge, dropping April 1st. Till then, we'll see you on the next episode of the Rugged Edge Survival Guide.